14-10, DRX rock up the Bangkok. They close out their opening series 2-0 over Sentinels.
Fear it, dread it, run from it. DRX is unstoppable in group stages of international events. It's a completely different looking team in a lot of different ways than old DRX, but the results are the same here at Masters Bangkok.
Double M Swiss, doesn't matter, it would seem. What a roaring start. I think for a lot of people, more one-sided than we could have anticipated.
Yes.
That Lotus in particular, but
Sentinels are no stranger to this stage. They won the first global event last year. It'll be interesting to see if they can do it again. But DRX, with the addition of the new faces and the addition, what we talked about with freeing, playing only Tejo in this meta, this map, Paul, how do we feel?
Oh, that's very interesting. Seeing the Pearl band out here from DRX as well, going to Lotus to start for SEN. I think they're going to feel really comfortable on that map. I think they found themselves right at the end of the stage playing there. Their Vice looks really good. Zelsis has a ton of different setups on this map that are really tough to call around. And DRX is a team that likes to go for a lot of hard executes, which I think is really brutal to play into the Vice while doing that, especially when you have no Yoru.
I like the DRX peeking onto the Haven. It hasn't looked the best for Sentinels, and even for them, I don't think it was the cleanest, but there are so many things, so much flexibility that you can have with the composition that they play in, that I think that it's the best choice they could have had.
Yeah, floating the Haven for Sentinels too. They've only played that once. It was in the grand finals, was their permaban throughout the rest of the stage. And I'm gonna be real, it looked pretty rough in the finals. They played the Fnatic double duelist comp. It didn't look super practiced. They have to have something cooking here to leave it open.
Of course they will, but map 3 for me is very interesting. But let's talk about map 1 for now and take a look at the agent select and see if we're gonna get any changes.
That's what I was hoping for from DRX. You know Zelsis is locking this Vice. You basically have to play into the Yoru, and you get the synergy of the Breach Teo there. Great decision from DRX.
And especially when you decide to, the band that you're going to have be in Pearl for any team that comes from Americas is the right pick. But seeing also these changes, teams coming from the first seed that we just saw in EDG and now DRX, identifying the strengths, the combos that they can also have on the map, and how they can exploit what Sentinels do here, it's key.
Name of the game for DRX is A-Rubble reclears. Sen is going to be fighting there a lot. They have a super strong defense with the Vice, and the Yoru will help DRX get through that.
Well, our teams are locked in, so let's send it over to your casters. Give a warm welcome to Achilles and Paperthin.
will these players from DRX be prepped enough to bear with that, especially when the game stops going their way, starts going the way of Sentinels, to be able to hang in there? The Sentinels overall, as far as that experience is concerned, they have the upper hand.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct. And I think another fun thing to look at is going to be the energy that both of these teams are going to be bringing to the stage, right? Look, Sentinels are a given quantity. We've seen them pop off. They talk about it literally during the matches, right? But then on the other side of the coin, DRX, this isn't old school DRX anymore, folks. This is a team that pops off. If you haven't had a chance to watch DRX this year, Mako is yelling. Oh, yeah. He is getting involved even. So this whole DRX team now is also able to bring that energy, bring those emotions. Obviously, Bane is going to be one of those players leading the way, but it's the whole team. They are so loud on stage this year in Pacific. It has been jaw-dropping.
Well, you hear that roar from the crowd, and it can only mean one thing. This game is ready to get kicked off. Let's go ahead and hop into Lotus for map number 1. We'll see which side of the crowd rings out a little bit louder. Is it going to be the Pacific faithful?
Sentinels in the beginning, There isn't. They're able to get Hyunmin past the wall. Then it's a good use of the salvos by freeing right as that wall is dropping to give DRX the ability to make that execute cleanly, safely, force Sentinels to play a full-on retake, and then they just lock it down with some good shots, and you can hear them. They are loud, folks. This is not the DRX of old.
Certainly not. Bane on the rejoin, give them some much-needed energy, as it's going to be a little bit of a rush play out here towards Mound. Cut of the noise in the meantime, just going to be Zelsis on his lonesome over here by A. Rides the rope, gets up top over towards safety, just relaying this pressure coming his way to the rest of the squad. The site will be taken, the plant can come through.
Yeah, they've got the U-tilt to watch the backside here, assuming they check the camera. It's get cleared, so they're going to be aware of this long lurk flank from Sentinels. See if they want to get aggressive on this, try to deny Sentinels going down to the spike.
Door broken open, 7 seconds until that next salvo comes online here for freeing. Also does have that concuss. Mako plays close here for the moment. Bulldog in hand. Hyunmin down at drop. Bulldog of his own. Question is for Sen. They try to make a play for it. They just sit back. Looks like they're going to try to at least get something going here as Paint Shell does land. Hyunmin eating a bit of damage. But widely Sen seeming content to just go ahead and die to the spike. Get that death bonus for DRX. This does mean that they're going to be able to hold on to all of these weapons.
Yep, I think this is the right call here for DRX. Maybe you can find an exit frag with freeing. He's got one!
Pushes in. That's going to be a Bulldog loss unless Mako can get over there. And he has one of his own, actually, so never mind. We need to try to relay that over to Flashback, who is just nowhere nearby. So we'll end up losing.
Bunch of utility to get the wall to go down. That buys the time for Sentinels to make an easy rotation over. Plenty of time for them to set up for that retake. It isn't the cleanest one, but the movement and the timing is good for them, which means DRX might need to think about that, see if Mako can kind of understand that situation. That things have been pretty readable for them so far. Sentinels are making fast rotates. See if you can maybe use that against them. Still though, nice flood retake here for the side of Sentinels. See if they can get it going, continue on here. So that is going to be, I believe, a Guardian buy down.
DRX out in front at the moment here on Lotus.
Yeah, they're just really well drilled, as you would expect from a team with Termi coaching them. You know, some doubt with this DRX roster coming together this year. But Termi has once again worked magic. It's a great aftershock, great shot from Hyunmin, man. He's been electric coming in as the duelist for this squad. Has really been a great replacement for Buzz's huge shoes to fill.
Now, Dimensional Drift one away, the Rolling Thunder as well, right there for Bane. Now margins, and obviously just that one Phantom carried over here, still in the hands of Zelsis. Okay, push up into the smoke in second, able to find a right place. Showstopper's built up, but he cannot fire off the rocket. John QT, dead to Bane, who somehow was a second aftershock kill on this map already. Whip City here around the box, but in the end, DRX crunch back against Sentinels. They do not allow for them to get a modicum of additional damage in that kill. With 2 players left alive, DRX now move up 5-1.
I'm pretty sure Mako double TP'd. I think he set up a smoke on the edge, on the corner of the C site, TP'd into it, then TP'd again, right into the back. Yep, unbelievable stuff. Hit the stun as well. So Bane there coming in big with his utility. Big assist. He was so good in the grand finals of Pacific with that util. And he's continuing on that once again. Has just really embraced this role of, obviously, you know, the jokes abound that he's the Korean Zelsis.
Flawless round for Sentinels to go ahead and get the second win.
Yeah, that's a huge breath of fresh air for Sen. It's just a quick execute off the back of the Yoru wall. Zelsis wins a battle against Flashback. Just a fadeaway there with the Phantom. Oh, John QT got the spot off the fade util. And they're able to use that Steel Garden nicely to make sure that it is a much easier affair at the end. See if that really patient play around that toxic screen. Keep your opponents guessing. When are you going to get aggressive off of it? You know, you use the Nightfall. You don't do much off the back of it. Yeah, they get some info. They're able to just kind of plant their feet, wait things out. And then it's a nice push there from some of the players, waiting for that toxic screen to fall, for their moment to strike. Bang, right, ready and waiting for the trade there. Really nicely done. Flashback having a little bit of tough time on some of these 1v1s. He's been good on some of the defenses in terms of post plants, but these 1v1s he's been losing, Zelsis and others, so I like this timeout from DRX.
I was going to say, you know, timeout call comes through despite the scoreline. It is DRX. Termi wanting to try to slow down this momentum that's starting to...
Let's try and slow the pace down a little bit now and see if we can catch Sentinels off guard and push and pull them around the map a little bit.
That could have given them the Rolling Thunder.
This is fascinating stuff that we're seeing from Mako and DRX.
Very loosey-goosey.
He's acting like a duelist.
Yeah.
He's the first one in. He's jumping in, leading the charge, opening up space. And Hyunmin there, able to be the one to back him up off the back of it with the Yoru util. I mean, it's crazy. And then you've got the Armageddon and everything else you need for that post plant.
Yeah, just a hairline catch there on to second. Thought he was clear of it. Ends up barely hitting that S key. Ends up getting ripped apart by that Armageddon. So now we're going to see a timeout call, this time from the SEN camp. Kaplan similarly not wanting for DRX to start revamping up with their momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really tricky what DRX is throwing at you. I mean, that last time out was just all about another set play. That was all it was. And if they can beat you like that, you know, against a team like Sentinel, sure, on your attacker side, you're going to have some opportunities to showcase your ability to do the very same thing, because this is a team that is very, very good at that. Realize that. Sometimes Zekken will get, like, really close to the front of B main when he has a showstopper or something like that, like hoping the opponents will
retain his weapon. That's as good as it gets right now. 7 rounds confirmed here for DRX at the half, guaranteeing that they will be out in the lead, potentially all the way up to 9. The ult economy is also very much on their sides. Rolling Thunder and the Dimensional Drift both available from the shadows from Mako. Also there.
Let's see how they want to use the
5-round lead going to the last round of the half.
The speed and tenacity that DRX is defending these retakes, these flood retakes with is crazy. I mean, look, we've seen some pretty insane reactions from these players. This is the best yet. They are clearly not bothered by being on a bigger stage, not even in the slightest. These new players for this team are stepping right up to the plate. And of course, you've got some of the veterans who are here. The way that they're chaining and organizing their utility is immaculate. I mean, just finds a little bit of gap there. Hyunmin finds that kill. Freeing next up to bat. Let's go. Takes down another. Oh, Bane got the spot right through the smoke right beforehand.
They're looking damn clean.
They're on fire.
A moment of reprieve here for Sentinels as we get ready to go into the halftime. See you guys on the other side. All right, we are back and about to go into the second half here on Sentinels map pick of Lotus. 9-3, the scoreline set up here by DRX after a very dominant attacker side. SEN believing in curses, hoping that they can turn this one around.
No doubt about it. They certainly can. There is no doubt in my mind. I've seen this team too many times, you know, rally back when things look tough or just go on a streak when they absolutely...
After tap, Freeing shuts them down and says, no, not this time. This C site is ours.
He is electric. That is crazy. That second tap is so good. Right there for the finish onto the ace. And the pop-off as well.
From on Dark Horse at first strike to one of the biggest stages in Valorant esports. Welcome to the...
Round 9-3, you're really looking at that pistol round to turn things into your favor. And this is something that killed Sentinels against G2 in the Grand Finals of Americas. They were losing a lot of pistols, starting on the wrong side of almost every map. And once again, they are on the wrong side of things. DRX looking so good. I mean, they're just so great at reacting to every move that Sentinels is trying to make. It helps when you've got Freeing just lasering people down. And then Bane there able to play right off that tripwire. Mako as well, giving him a little bit of backup. Now Sentinels looking to take another timeout seemingly, as they are looking at a nearly impossible task of coming back on this.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe this is just a moment for Kaplan to kind of get the boys in a right headspace. Say, hey, let's try and get 4 or 5 rounds in a row here. Let's
surrounding DRX was, how is this comp going to look? They are a very good, you know, execute-heavy team. With the Yoru in here, there's a lot of things they can do, but how comfortable is Hyunmin going to look? It looks like he's been playing Yoru his entire life on stage.
It does. It looks so clean. I mean, and it helps when you've got players like Mako who can step into a slightly different way of playing Omen off the cuff and set up that space for you to be actually the secondary entry in a lot of situations for DRX. Here on the defender side, well, Freeing's been lighting players up. That helps a lot too. And he has been just as good as always. 17-5 right now for the Taeho main. Now they've got 4 players here at Rubble. They're so ready for this. DRX.
And watches that shot. Unbelievable. Any game plan that Sentinels established in that timeout has been shattered as Hyunmin picks second out of the sky. Armageddon mows him down. John QT is dead, and Celsius is surrounded. DRX collapse in on top of Sentinels, and they smother them out of this map of Lotus, 13-3.
It's DRX bringing devastation. So well prepared.
That they absolutely are. For Sentinels, how well prepared is your Haven was something brought up by the analyst desk. We're gonna find out after a quick break.
Oh, what?
And find out by sending it back to your casters, Achilles and Paperthin.
Thank you very much. Here we go. The turning point that is necessary for Sentinels to get themselves back into this, as Kaplan was saying. He's tired of those slow starts. He still, at this point, is going to be begging that is what that first map tees up. As we get ready to go into this, changes abound for both teams. Pretty big ones here as well. For the side of DRX, continuing to lean on this Yoru from Hyunmin. Now 3rd game that he's going to be playing on this pick, but also the pivot. A Bane moving over onto this breach, not having that Sova.
Yeah, he looked great though with that util, finding a bunch of after.
But Sentinels will find their first pistol round win.
This is just really good decision making from Sentinels this time around, leaving Celsius as a lurk, even though Hyunmin's somewhat ready for it, not really able to adjust in time. And then Celsius is a real nuisance on that flank. Buys them so much time to get this rotate over to A, get the plant down, get a much needed pistol win, and get some confidence, get some security. Really anticipating some aggressive push-outs. One of the things that caused Sentinels some difficulty against G2 was lack of flank control. And good awareness early here by Bang that DRX might try to push, see if they can claim some real estate. We didn't get to see much of on the previous map on Lotus is how well Flashback is going to be able to anchor on the Cypher and how much he's going to be able to handle some of these high tempo executes, some of these big, really well drawn up plans that Sentinels can bring. This time around, of course, against a slightly weaker weaponry that Sentinels is going to be bringing that round. He holds up quite nicely, able to use his smokes to touch. Little things for the Sentinels that go awry. It's not recognizing that camera is going to be there again. Maybe they just never saw it in the previous round, I'm not sure. But it cost them their entry duelist, and then they're just kind of caught walking up a ramp. I mean, it's so hard because what do you do at that point? You don't have much other way to break through except for pure gunfire. Maybe a little bit of Taeho and breach utility, sure. But DRX, pretty wise to those plans. Able to dodge a lot of it. Hyunmin playing right around that corner really nicely there, using his body to get the info, quick flash, has his crosshair right where it needs to be to catch the escaping player and Bang. And yeah, DRX already forcing another early timeout out of Sentinels. I think maybe a call here to try to work the map a little bit more, but so far, when they've tried to contest C site, there's been some good ideas from DRX, some combo plays off the back of Flashback's utility there to set up Mako for that kill. You know, smoke gave it away from Bang there that they might be trying to aggress through.
Very clean across that first map, now into this one. Sentinels back at the early timeout.
Sure they can take that orb, and then Hyunmin just taking a page out of some other teams' book that I've seen where they get really aggressive against ecos. Just want to try to shut it down. And of course the risk reward there is you drop a gun over, but it's a great escape by Bane, and he got that kill. Unbelievable.
Yeah, Miner shrugs and okay. I guess that worked out. And he got not damage taken, gets us tied up at 3-3.
A really creative utilization of the space that they're able to take. Getting Zekken up on top of those boxes and just holding the position and using this Cosmic Divide across 2 different sites. Really, really intelligent stuff from the Sentinels players. Like that they're digging into the playbook here. This is a really cool execute with the ultimates from Sentinels. It's a nice shot, a good opener. And this is what I'm talking about. Even though they lose that first player for free, Sentinels can still fight back. And this time, it's using the Armageddon to force the players into that corner. They've been noticing that Freeing is really liking to play at the top of short A, and then they can use the Steel Guard and it catches 2, and that's basically 2 free kills. So they're able to take the 4v3 man advantage on their way into the site. Just really good stuff from Sen. Coordination really starting to come into play. Zekken winning some of these early battles, anticipating that there's going to be a flash play and a player bouncing out of that smoke to try to cut him down. Reads it beautifully, and the up on top of the box, and the finish onto Freeing's poor trapped body. Not much he could do in that position. And indeed, timeout now for DRX. Sentinels really starting to get a read on this half. DRX, 3 rounds in a row there, and you think, oh boy.
Happening again.
Yeah, but nope, this is the Sentinels you expect. The mental on this team is incredible. They have fought back tooth and nail so many times in Americas in kickoff this year.
The whole rest of the map, frankly, was just a win streak from DRX. They didn't drop anything after that last timeout. Sentinels to make sure that that is not going to be the case here. But they shorten that gap by just 1 round.
What a gutsy play call here by DRX. Down in numbers, time ticking short. They can't really push towards long to try to clear it. So you know that they've got the Astra. Just protect the diffuser as best as you can, and it comes just in time before John QT finds 2. Insane timing there. This is just really uncomfortable for Sentinels. They use the Armageddon to try to find a way through, and right as they're about to make their move, they were watching that window like a hawk. Narrate was just staring at it for the longest time, and right as they're starting to try to creep their way forward towards the C site is when Freeing strikes. Then he doubles down on it. Absolutely incredible what Freeing is able to do. And Flashback is having a whale of a time over on C.
In the lead.
Just absolutely tenacious stuff from both teams in this round. You know, it looks like DRX has got the door shut. Mako here, not able to TP out before he gets the inability to do so. And Hyunmin there playing the flash. And then they lose a couple players. Sentinels looks like they might be able to recover. It's one of those cosmic divides where they can pivot and plant from one site to another. Really nice stuff from Sentinels to close out the half.
Absolutely, 6 and 6 neck and neck. A far cry from what we saw on Lotus. Let's see guys on the other side though.
Red Bull gives you wings.
More what you would expect. Some good adjustments by Sentinels after DRX had won 3 in a row. They start putting a lot more pressure on A. They start kind of getting wise to some of the trickery that DRX is trying to employ on their defender side. But here on the Stacker side, you know, you have to imagine this is more what this comp is built for on this map.
DRX not allowing for Sen to take the lead, to tie up the pistol win count.
Just give the man a ghost and he's good for it on the pistol rounds. Also, Flashback wins a huge 1v1 there against Zekken.
Yeah.
And the fact that Hyunmin even gets 1 off of being cut off from the rest of his team underneath health with the Yoru TP. Absolutely crazy stuff, just individual mechanics shining through for DRX.
You can see Glow just pointing at us, saying, that's our guy.
To get into post-plant positioning, they will more often than not convert against you because of the way that this DRX coaching staff prepares their players and understand the angles they all need to be watching, you know, what's likely to be coming ahead of them, who needs to be doing what. The drop down covered by Flashback. Bane gonna be watching from the other side. The second bonus conversion of the match for DRX. And this is just a crazy battle there. 2 stunned up players dueling the garage hall. Bang, looked like he might have had a third. If he gets that third one, I think that's round over. for Sentinels. He's vested, and then flashback with a really wise play to wrap behind. The awareness, the movement this time from DRX, a little bit different. They don't just post up into post plants this time. So let's spread the map a little bit. Mako go long, flashback, wrap around from behind. And at worst, you know, you just play off of Mako's contact potentially. It out a little bit and you're like, okay, now I can re-clear the space, I can retake it. Instead, you know, Zelsis gets hit by a stun. There's another layer there for DRX. It looks, you know, DRX is so patient with it. It looks like it's just trying to bait for util, trying to bait for contact. Instead, it's actually baiting the player to come back and re-clear.
Who's out on 2 players? They move up now. Double digits achieved.
4 in a row now for DRX coming into this second half attacker's side, and you can see that the way that they're staggering utility again, it's something different every time. This time it's the dimensional drift into the salvos. I mean, they're just catching them off guard. They have so much ability to take, but SEN is able to bail themselves out. I think it's the Vice utility that buys the extra bit of time. That's a nice shot there, Mako. Because the stun and the paranoia had hit the 2 players behind the box. I get why Mako's TPing up there, because you've got potentially 2 free kills. And then Sentinels able to sneak a player in time. That A hit was telegraphed pretty quickly off the back of some of that by Sentinels. Coming from a couple different angles, finding 2 early kills from both sides to kind of open this up. Yunmin trying to get through, bang. Finds freeing as well. So this time the discipline not able to be there. Just a little bit of a faster paced retake attempt from Sentinels. Still some frustration shown and now some excitement.
Away from match point.
It's just crazy how much faith that DRX can put into Hyunmin to just TP into hell, find that kill. That is ridiculous. And then John QT found 2 huge kills with the salvos. But then that scooped up operator off of Zekin's dead body falls into Flashback's hands, and he puts it to good use.
Tighten it. 2 more to go to tie it up once more.
Again, it's the timing for Sentinels more than anything. They're able to wait out the dimensional drift a little bit, just smother Mako with flashes to make sure that those salvos were going to get the job done. Flashback might have showed his hand, revealed his hand a little too early there. But it's just to cut off the plant before it can even happen here. That's what's giving DRX problems. I think the identification for Sentinels is that DRX, we can't let them get into post plants because that's where they're just going to tear us apart. We have to prevent them as best as we can. We have to confuse them, make it a little bit scrappier in some of these moments. And they're doing a great job of it. John QT has done a good job. Some of that util. Bang has been absolutely electric on the Astra.
See if they can bring this to a conclusion. 2-round lead, not something that they're going to be overly comfortable with.
To really get a feel for themselves now are these players. Yeah, Bang just moves right to the back of the plat. Says, nope, not today, Hyunmin. And oh, I see some shots coming through that smoke. Let's just see if I can find some freebies. He has just been crisp. 4v5. Sentinels knows they're coming. They've got everything in the kitchen sink to throw at him. John hits an absolute banger there. But then somehow, Flashback finds a timing and a transfer.
Oh my God.
Oh my word. It's outrageous. And then Mako hasn't been super impactful in the kill department on this map, but that one right there certainly had some impact. Oh my.
Is this where it all comes to a conclusion, or can Sentinels give us our second timeout of the day?
Time to jump.
Rex is going to be looking to avoid it. Similar gate crash setup coming through. Bang once again here at backside, but this time there is an Armageddon, and he's got nowhere to go. Denman will still fall. Celsius is going to be good for 2, but he gets traded out right now on the floor. Second and John QT. The last one's remaining in a 2v3. Trying to stop it from ending right here, right now, but Mako has snugged him out of the sky. John QT finds one, but cannot find the rest. 13-10, DRX. Rock up the Bangkok. They close out their opening series, 2-0 over Sentinels.
Fear it, dread it, run from it. DRX is unstoppable in group stages of international events. It's a completely different look looking team in a lot of different ways than old DRX, but the results are the same here at Masters Bangkok.
Double M Swiss, doesn't matter if it's seen. What a roaring start. I think for a lot of people, more one-sided than we could have anticipated.
Yes.
Lotus in particular, but even here, DRX getting themselves a 2-0 victory. That abyss not to be witnessed, not yet here on the international stage. There's still plenty more games to go. For the Pacific representatives, in a very solid way to kick off their tournament and to get these rookies acclimated to this.
And they were hot on Lotus. Haven in the flashback really stepped up huge. You know, we saw him last year. He's such a crack gamer, such a solid Sentinel player for this DRX squad. He was a little off during kickoff, let's just be honest. But I think a lot of that was just these new players, Reading and Youngman, stepping up so nicely. But here today, I think 26 kills on Haven. Absolute incredible work on the Cypher. Doing a great job locking down that C site.